Hey, hello, leaders. Welcome back to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. This is Paul Grau Jr., and today I want to talk about kind of something a little bit different, but I want to talk about the life that we live, the life before death. And, it's funny because yesterday I talked about writing your own eulogy and living for legacy and stop thinking internally and start thinking externally. But today, I'm almost 60. I had a birthday a few weeks ago, and somebody said, "Well, you're not old, you know, almost 60. What's so old about that?" Well, that person was like 78. And then I turn around and ask somebody else that's like 30, and they're like, "Man, 60, that's freaking old." And me, I look at my age and say, "Man, I'm 59, and geez, I used to think that was ancient, but now that I'm 59, I don't feel like it's that old." My body does some days, but I mean, you know, it's kind of weird how sometimes we see other ages and we're like, "Man, that's old," or "That's really young." I'll watch a college football game and see the players, and they're 18, 19 years old, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I remember the day when I used to look at college football players and think, man, they're old." Well, now I'm looking back and saying, "Man, these are just kids." But one thing about life is, are you life giving or are you life taking? And I think that's what it all comes down to, whether or not we're old or not. Are we taking lives from other people, or are we helping other people live? Are we life giving? Are we lifting people up? You know, when it comes down to trying to figure this out with people, a lot of times you can kind of get in that general idea just by asking them a few questions and getting to know them. But before you do that, you need to know yourself. I mean, are you helping other people? Are you willing to step up and mentor somebody else or teach somebody else or just guide somebody else through something if they're having a problem? Are you willing to help people with everyday tasks, whether it be changing a tire on a car, or, you know, helping people, an older person that might live next to you, get their mail or their newspaper? Are you helping younger kids, setting them straight, guiding them? A lot of times if once we get a little older, we're like, "Man, those young kids, they're this and they're that." And well, what are we doing to mentor and guide them along? Are we stepping in and telling them that, if we don't think they're doing something right, are we telling them? Or are we just letting it go? You know, there's a lot to this. And I think everybody looks at life giving a little bit differently. So what does it look like for you? Today's challenge is to go out and help somebody. Be that presence in their life where they can look back and say, "Man, this person really helped me through my life." And I think this adds to the legacy part that we were talking about yesterday. But just think externally, think about life giving versus life taking, or the old saying, "Are you a giver or taker?" Well, it's the same thing. Are you giving to others, or are you taking from others? Are you constantly asking for help, but never being the one that's there to help others? Well, that gets old really quick to the people around you. So that's it for today. I just want you to think about that. And, in essence, as a leader, you're a life giver just by being a leader, because you're leading people, you're directing people, you're making sure people are going in the right direction. You're making sure that you're correcting their wrongdoing and their mistakes. You're helping them learn new ways of doing things. And more than anything else, you're leading by example. You're giving them that example for them to follow, because our people and the team and the people around us are going to do what we do a lot more than they do what we say. So teach others by giving to them and helping them. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please feel free to share it with somebody else. Come on back tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit about perspectives and different perspectives that people have, and different perspectives between leaders and managers and employees and team members and group members. So I hope to see you then. Until then, run to your challenges. We'll see you.